people? Welcome to another episode of Grand Football TV, and it is your host, Mr. Chicks. How are we doing? If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Come on. I'm talking to you. Subscribe, man. Let's get this show going. Okay, yes, we are into game week 9. Isn't that wonderful? Game week 9. But before we talk about game week 9, as is custom, because we have a grand football community, we are going to be looking at the pundits and see all the predictions from game week 8 and see the table at the end and see how we are doing as a little group. Okay, game week 8, we'll go straight into it, and we will start with the game that kicked off last Saturday, Tottenham versus West Ham. Tottenham versus West Ham. You know how that one finished. West Ham, I don't know what's going on with them. They're losing big games now against teams you thought in the past they would, have a good fight against. Tottenham normally is a difficult game for both of them, but this game looked so easy for Tottenham. Tottenham winning 4-1. And in our predictions, no one actually got the correct score. They got the correct outcome, which gives you 3 points, but no one got the correct score of 4-1, so no one gets the 5 points. Okay, we move on. Fulham versus Aston Villa. Fulham versus Aston Villa. Fulham losing that one at home to Villa. Villa showing that they are a very, very good side. And even this week, they have won their Champions League game again. So they are flying. They're flying really high. And they won this one 3-1 against Fulham. And well done to David. David got the correct score. And also Kiki. Kiki also got the correct score of 3-1 to Aston Villa. So those are the two people who got the correct score. The rest of us got the outcome. I know I put 2-1 for that game, but it finished 3-1. Unlucky. Yeah. Okay, we move on to the next game. Ipswich versus Everton. Ipswich versus Everton. That game finished 2-0 to Everton. Ipswich looks like they're starting to feel the heat in the Premier League. They're starting to drop points. Now, you expect that hopefully the next game, they start picking up points again. Otherwise, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for them. I thought with the form of the lap, they would, pose a threat, because I went for Ipswich to win, but they didn't. Anyway, shout out to Okechukwu, who got the right score. He predicted Ipswich to lose 2-0 to Everton, and that was the final score. So shout out to OK for that. Man United versus Brentford. Man United versus Brentford. That game finished 2-1 to Man United. It's been a long time. You see all their fans happy that they finally got a win after a while not getting a win. But they reverted back to normal ways in Champions League this week, where, they didn't do so badly, but they ended up with a draw. They've been drawing too many games in the Champions League, but in the league, they need to start winning more games. And you would expect that their next game, which we'll talk about soon, they can pick up points. Anyway, they won 2-1, and shout out to a few people. Osita, Temizak, Kiki, and Eddie Great. These are the people who got the correct score for Man United to win the game 2-1. So shout out to you guys. Well done. Well done. Newcastle versus Brighton. Now, no one saw that. Well, not that no one saw this coming, but no one thought that Newcastle won't be able to score at home. With the likes of Isak back, they expected, Gordon Isak, would do something. And to be fair, I was listening to something yesterday, and I thought they were right. The midfield of Newcastle as well are not, they're not posing any threat to any team. You would expect that when Tonali came back with Ellington, Tonali, Gumares in that middle, they would get some goals between them or create some chances between them. But it's not looking like it. So they ended up losing that game 1-0. At home, which is, it's a bit of a surprise. Normally, Newcastle are very, deadly at home. So no one predicted that scoreline because everyone thought it's Newcastle, man. Newcastle at home. They should at least win this game, or at least even if they don't win, it will be a high-scoring draw or a scoring draw at least. But none of that happened. Newcastle lost the game 1-0. Southampton versus Leicester. This is a very, very interesting game for a neutral. Southampton winning 2-0, everything looking all sweet. And I'm thinking, they look like a team. After the way they played against Arsenal, I thought they would probably play really well against Leicester, considering Leicester got promoted like themselves and they would beat Leicester. But I was very wrong. Very wrong. Leicester came back and won that game 3-2. 3-2 to Leicester. And it was a bit of a shock because some people, I was listening to someone and he said he just went out and came back and saw, wow, the last I checked, Southampton were winning 2-0. And now I'm looking at it, they're losing 3-2. What's going on? So yeah, Southampton unlucky in that game, but hopefully they don't let this weigh them down, because the Premier League can be very, very, very brutal. If you lose games and you keep beating yourself, you would stay there. So they need to pick themselves up and hopefully get a result in their next game. Another shocking result: Bournemouth versus Arsenal. Oh, by the way, the Southampton game, no one predicted the right score. No one predicted the correct score. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. What can I say, guys? What can I say? I didn't expect this to come so soon. A loss. We've been doing, Arsenal's been doing really well all season, from last season. In fact, throughout the year. This is the first loss of the year, and it wasn't a good one. Saliba getting a red card, Saka not playing, Odegaard not playing. It just looked like the team was disjointed, especially in the midfield. They all looked like there was no one in that midfield who could create chances. Merino doesn't create chances. Rice isn't a creator, and so is Partey. So they looked very, 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 stiff. Let's put it that way. And they ended up losing the game 2-0. And of course, no one would have predicted Arsenal to go to Bournemouth and lose 2-0. So no one had the correct score, and no one even had the correct outcome, because everyone went for an Arsenal win. The only one person went for a draw, I think, and everyone else went for a win. Wolverhampton versus Manchester City. Big game. Man City almost dropped points, but they were saved by John Stones, who got the winner at the end. Well done to Wolves. They gave everything in that game, but just couldn't, hold on for a draw at least. But I'm sure they'll be buoyed by that performance and take it into their next game. But as it stands, they lost that one, and City won the game 2-1. And shout out to Finn, who predicted City to actually win the game by just 2-1. Everyone else went for a high-scoring win, like a 4-1, 3-1, and so on. But Finn went for 2-1. So well done. Liverpool versus Chelsea. Remember this game? This is the game of our star game of the week. That was our star game of last week. And it didn't really live up to the hype in terms of the gameplay itself, because at some point both teams cancelled each other out. There was no, extra thing you would say about the game and say, wow, this game blew my mind. Nah, there was nothing of such, but the important thing is there was a winner in the game, and Liverpool were the winners. They won the game 2-1. And shout out to myself, Osita, Finn, Kiki, and Okechukwu. We are the ones who predicted the score to finish at 2-1. And what we do with the star games, guys, is normally we add a bit of extra points to it. So if you get the correct score, you get 10 points for a star game. So we got the 10 points for that one. Yeah, so well done, well done. The last game of game week 8, Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. And that game finished 1-0. Chris Wood with the goal. Well done to Forest. They are playing well this season. They're a team that not a lot of teams will want to play. Not a lot of teams will want to come against them at the moment because they're getting results. They're grinding results, and they're not conceding as many as well. Which is a good thing. So it's not like you're winning games but still conceding a lot. They're tight at the back as well. So that's good. So shout out to Finn again and OK. So these are the two guys who predicted 1-0 to Nottingham Forest. So they get the 5 points for that. So at the end of game week 8, Nyema sits at the top of the table with 217 points. And then Chris is in second with 206 points. And there is a joint third, Eddie Great and Finn. Well done to you guys. They both sit in third with 191 points. Well done, guys. Well, you can see the table. The rest of us are just there. They were just there, but not, we're trying to make an impact. We will make an impact. Don't worry. I'm coming up the table. You can see me, Mr. Chigs. I'm climbing up the table. Remember, I used to be second from bottom, but I'm not anymore. So I'm coming for the top. I'm coming for the top. Okay. If you haven't subscribed, now is a good time. Come on, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Game week 9. We are here with game week 9. And we'll start it quickly so we can get it over and done with. Leicester versus Nottingham Forest. That game kicks off today. So it's a big game. Big game. Friday kickoff. Forest gonna wobble because it's not their normal day they normally play. You never know. Leicester gonna find it tricky meeting a Forest side that's very good. Remember, they went to Anfield and got a result. So they probably have that at the back of their mind. If we can go to Anfield and get a result, what stops us from going to the King Power Stadium and getting a result as well? Well, we'll see. But I've called this one a draw because I couldn't make out who would win this one. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw. And I'm hoping that's how it ends. So I get the points. And to be honest, those two teams are not a threat to my team, so it doesn't really matter. But for my predictions, 2-2, I'll be happy with that. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Aston Villa, they did well again in the Champions League. They're flying high, getting a result against the team. Who did they play again? I think it was Bologna. And they won 2-0. Duran on the score sheet again. Yeah, so I want Villa to win this one just for the fact that Bournemouth beat Arsenal. But that's my bias talking. But if we're looking at football, Villa, you would expect should win this game. They've got the strength to come against Bournemouth and defeat them. and especially playing at home, they should get that result, you would imagine. So I'm going for Aston Villa to win this one 3-1. I'm going for Villa to win 3-1. Then Brentford versus Ipswich. Brentford versus Ipswich. Remember, we talked about Ipswich not looking very great, but this might be another game where they probably will struggle. Brentford might get one of them early goals again because, I think Wissa might be back. I'm not sure, but, Mboem was there. So they might get that early goal again against Ipswich. And I see Brentford winning this one 3-1. 3-1 to Brentford. They should win. You would imagine they should win. I don't know if that will be the final score, but you would imagine Brentford should win the game. Brighton versus Wolves. Brighton versus Wolves. Brighton, good result in their last game against Newcastle, but they've lost Danny Welbeck, I think, to an injury. I'm hoping it's not a long one for him. Prayers up for him, and he comes back quick to help his team as he's been doing all season. Well, but I think this game will be a twist, I think Wolverhampton will go to Brighton and get their first win. They're looking for that win, and I think this is a game where everyone would think, oh, Brighton are flying. They probably defeat Wolves, but I see Wolves going there and getting a result. So I've predicted Wolves to win away from home 2-1. Wolves to win 2-1. Manchester City versus Southampton. The question about this game is how many will they score? Because on everyone's lips, you would say City are definitely winning this one. I mean, I'll be the happiest man if Southampton can, come with a miracle and either get a draw or a hard fought. Remember, they've done it before, but that was in a cup though, not in a league game where they defeated Man City 2-0. It was a shocker. City didn't expect it. And if they can play like that, the way they did that day again, they probably will get something out of this game. But you and I know that it's going to be difficult. So I'm going for a Man City win 4-0. Man City to win 4-0 against Southampton. The question is, how many will Haaland score? I hope he does for my FPL, because he's gone 3 games now without scoring. But one of them ones where you're even scared to take him out of your team, because as soon as you take him out, he'll probably score 5 goals. So we're all keeping him in, not taking him out, just keeping him in. And this game should be one of them games where he should score. At least he scored 2 in the Champions League, so his scoring boots are back. So you would imagine this game, he would score some goals, at least 2 or 3, you would imagine, or even 4. You heard it here first, he scores 4. Anyway, the next game, Everton versus Fulham. Everton versus Fulham. Everton are starting to play well. They've got 2 good results in their last 2 games, but I'm not sure how this one would go, because Fulham are a good side, although they lost at home in their last game. But Fulham will want to maybe bounce back from that loss and come back really strong in this game. So I'm predicting Fulham to lose again, actually. From my prediction, I've gone for Fulham to lose 2-1. So Everton to win 2-1, pretty much. Don't know why I'm calling Fulham like they're the home team. Everton to win 2-1 at home. Yeah. Chelsea versus Newcastle. This is one of our star games, guys. It's a big game. It will be an interesting game. How these two set up, it will be very interesting. And Chelsea, they're flying as well, getting some decent. I know they lost to Liverpool, but this season you can see their team that's playing well. They've got like an identity. There's a method to their madness. Let's put it that way. So they're doing really well. They're playing really well, and Newcastle coming to their home for this one. I see them getting a result as well. It'll be tough. It'll be very, very tough. And if Newcastle want to rectify their, poor scoring form, they'll probably come to this game wanting to outscore Chelsea. But I see this as a high scoring game. So I've gone for Chelsea to win 3-2. Chelsea to win 3-2. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Crystal Palace not been doing so well lately, and Mateta, who was their main man last season in terms of getting goals, especially from the second half of the season, unless he's waiting for the second half again this season, he hasn't been scoring, guys. He hasn't been scoring. And he's been playing. It's not like he hasn't been playing. And I'm not sure what's happened to Nketiah, who they bought. Maybe he's injured, I don't know. But Crystal Palace need to win this game. If Nketiah's fit, he'll probably want to play and gives the Arsenal fans something to cheer when he scores against Tottenham. But I see this game going Crystal Palace's way, and I see them winning this one 2-1. I'm going for a Palace win, 2-1. West Ham versus Manchester United. Both teams, I'm not sure about what to say about these two teams, because West Ham have been poor lately, very poor, and now they've lost Kudus for this game. So who's gonna have that, attacking prowess? Is it Bowen? It looks like he's out of form. Is it Antonio? He's not in form. Fulkrug is not even getting a look in. So I don't know who is going to do it for West Ham. Man United, on the other hand, Højlund was saved in the Europa League game, so you can imagine that he will probably be the one they would look to. Him, Rashford, and Garnacho. One of them three have to do it for them. And I see this game, though, ending in a draw. And I've gone for a 2-2 draw. A 2-2 draw. Our second star game of the weekend, the biggest one, in fact, of the weekend, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Arsenal, this is going to be a very, very difficult game, but this is a game where everyone can step up and say, look, we are here to win this league this season. These are the kind of games that we need to show everyone that we are here for that. So I see them winning this one, but it'll be difficult because Liverpool, they're top of the table. What more can you say? They're top of the table. They're playing good football. They're winning. They've won 11 out of their 12 games this season in all competitions. So that says a lot. They're winning games. They're not just draw, and they're winning games. So this one, will be a very, very tough game for Arsenal. But I see them, because they're at home, I see them. Then again, they haven't really played well at home, but I see them getting a win. They need to win this one. They need to, because not winning this game, that's it for me. The season's almost over, because Liverpool will be 7 points ahead of Arsenal if Arsenal lose this to Liverpool, and 6 behind City, because we know they're going to beat, Southampton. So that's not a position you want to be, all through the season. But the season's still a long way off. There's still, after these games, there'll still be 29 games left. So a lot to play for, But like I said, Arsenal will win this one 2-1, and we'll see how that one pans out at the end of game week 9. So there you have it, guys. My predictions, and when we come back next time, we will talk about all the other guys, their predictions, and who got the right ones and who didn't. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Don't check this.